If you're looking for ways to naturally calm your brain and body to reduce stress and feel better faster, I have your new secret weapon. After a concussion, a lot of us have headaches and brain fog, and everything is loud and way too bright, and the whole world suddenly feels off kilter. Today, I'm sharing a natural remedy that can soothe your mind, heal your body, and recharge your spirit. So let's talk about Shinrin Yoku, or forest bathing. And before the skeptics run away, rolling their eyes, or jump into the comment section, there is science behind this. With research from the World Health Organization, Stanford University, Brighton and Sussex Medical School, and many other academic sources, which we are going to talk about. I'm going to share the science up front, and then we'll talk about how to actually go about doing Shinrin Yoku. So if you're not interested in the research or the why it works, you can check the chapters and skip ahead. I promise I won't be offended. I got a lot of my information from Dr. Ching Li's book, Forest Bathing. I'll link it below, along with some of the studies that he mentions. First things first, Shinrin Yoku is not a walk in the woods. It's not a hike. It's not exercise. And it's not naked, which was a concern for my mom at first, which makes sense because it's got the word bathing in it. Forest bathing is a mindful immersion in nature. It's a chance to reconnect with yourself and the world around you while letting nature boost your immune system and heal you. And I will just pause here to remind you that I'm not a doctor. So make sure you check in with your doctor before trying any new concussion recovery techniques. And while I do love this sort of thing to boost our medical system, I do rely on my healthcare crew for their guidance. A traumatic brain injury impacts your life in so many ways. Symptoms can range from mild to severe, and recovery time varies for everyone. Concussions can be incredibly frustrating. The brain needs time to heal, but we also want to find ways to support the process and not just sit on a sofa. From cognitive symptoms like issues with memory, concentration, and decision making, emotional symptoms like depression and anxiety, irritability, mood swings, and even physical symptoms like headaches and dizziness. Forest bathing can help ease concussion symptoms. Research shows that spending time in nature can reduce stress hormones, improve mood, and enhance cognitive function. These benefits are exactly what your brain needs after a concussion. Back in 1984, American biologist E.O. Wilson shared his bibliophilia hypothesis, the concept being that humans have a biological need to connect with nature. Since we evolved in nature, we love nature. It's where humans have lived the majority of our time on Earth, and subconsciously we feel comfortable in nature because we're surrounded by the things that help us survive. Where there is greenery, there is water. Where there is water, there is also food, and water is hydration. Living indoors and in cities is relatively new and is evolving super quickly when you look at human history as a whole. And we aren't only living indoors. We're spending the vast majority of our time indoors. Statistics from the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency say that Americans spend 93% of our time indoors, less than half a day weekly outdoors, from 100% of our time to this much of our time. My first thought was that I've lived in a city, I've lived in houses my whole life. But you know how our lizard brain is still protecting us from tigers? Our ancestry and where we evolved from has a huge impact on our lives to this day. We feel stress, the body produces more cortisol to help cope. Having chronically high cortisol from job stress, honking horns, commuting, deadlines, family stuff, family drama, healing from a concussion, living with a concussion, feeling dizzy, being in pain. All of these things increase the risk of so many health problems, and they send our cortisol skyrocketing. In his book, Forest Bathing, Dr. Lee shares that Shinrin Yoku has been scientifically proven to increase energy and reduce stress. It lowers the hormones cortisol and adrenaline, which reduces stress and brings a state of relaxation. It also decreases anxiety, depression, and anger. Anybody else angry after their concussion? So how does it do this? A few ways. Sleep time increases, even without increased step count, which is important. It's not exercise that we're doing. It's the other things that we're going to talk about. Spending time in nature improves our mood. It's not just subjective scores, but they measured hormone rates of people after they practiced Shinrin Yoku. So the data is scientific and measurable. Stress, like the stress we feel after a concussion, inhibits our immune system. But our natural killer cells, the cells that attack and kill unwanted cells like viruses, their activity increased by over 50%, and cell numbers increased by 50%, with effects lasting 30 days. So what this means is that after spending time in the forest, we have more healing cells, and our healing cells are more active. Phytoncides are natural oils within a plant and part of a tree's defense system. They help us when we breathe them in. So that beautiful pine smell in the forest, it's not just pretty. It's actually beneficial to your immune system. It also lowers our sympathetic system and increases our parasympathetic system, a significant decrease in levels of stress hormones and an increase in hours of sleep. Another benefit of being outside and away from screens is the relaxation of our muscles when our eyes are allowed to relax. When focusing on things up close, our eyes need to converge, they move together. And if your eyes are irritated by your brain injury, allowing them to diverge or relax apart can help ease headaches and tension. Shinrin Yoku is about slowing down and engaging your senses, taking deep breaths, listening to the sounds of nature, and feeling the earth beneath your feet. It's about being present in the moment, and even a short walk in your local park can be beneficial. So now we're at the part where we talk about how to do Shinrin Yoku, how to do forest bathing. I like the line from Dr. Lee's book that says, nature works in harmony with our natural capacity for healing. It's why we have an immune system. It's why we go to neurological rehab or physiotherapy or vision therapy, because we as humans have a natural capacity for healing. Finding calm and relaxation differs from person to person. So make sure you find a place that suits you. You might feel best near running water, like a stream or by a lake, or you might feel best in the countryside. You might feel best in a regional forest, or in the woods, or on a trail. You might have mobility issues and feel best at a local park or a conservation area with paved paths or well-trodden paths. Do what works best for you. Leave behind your phone and camera. This is not a hike, so walk slowly and pay attention to the things around you. You're going to let your body and let your senses be your guide. You might want to pick a sense. Maybe you're hearing. Listening, you might hear birds singing, the breeze rustling the leaves, water nearby, insects. The longer you listen, the more things you'll hear and the subtle differences. Like you might hear one bird singing and think, oh, bird. But after a while, you realize it's two different types of birds. If you want to start by focusing on your sense of sight, focus on the different shades of green, on the sunlight filtering through the trees, on the clouds moving through the sky, on animals, squirrels jumping in trees. If you're focusing on smells, breathe deeply and inhale the forest fragrance. If you're by a lake, enjoy the smell of the water. Enjoy the natural aromatherapy of phytoncides. For the sense of taste, you can taste the freshness of the air, especially in the winter. I also like to bring pine needle tea, and I have no experience foraging, and foraging can be dangerous. So I like to buy my pine needles online to stay safe. And I will link down below my favorite pine needle tea. It just gives you something to savor. But you could bring a bottle of cold water and just sip that as you walk. Sometimes I visit a farmer's stand on my way to the forest and I pick up some fresh fruit to savor while forest bathing. Moving on to the sense of touch. Be careful so that you don't get stung or injured. But maybe try touching a tree trunk or stick your hand in a stream. You could lie on the ground, very concussion friendly. Or even try taking off your shoes and just feel the grass beneath your feet. And make sure to check in with your sixth sense too, especially towards the end. Do you feel calmer? Do you feel more relaxed? Try to spend an hour in nature and see how it affects your healing. To make the most of your Shinrin Yoku experience, consider investing in some comfortable outdoor gear. Make sure you're wearing a good pair of comfortable shoes. Bring water, maybe in a hydration pack so that there's less extra weight. A journal can help enhance your time in nature. I like my portable seat. It helps to keep my butt dry. And remember that consistency is key. If you make this as easy and comfortable as possible, you're more likely to do it again. And the effects are cumulative. So try to incorporate Shinrin Yoku into your weekly routine, even if it's just for a short time in a local park. Nature is nature, so stay safe and accomplish whatever you can comfortably and without stressing yourself out. Shinrin Yoku is a simple but powerful tool for improving your overall well-being. Whether you're recovering from a concussion, or just looking to reduce stress, spending time in nature can make a world of difference. You know, after I finished the book Forest Bathing, I found two more books that I found really cool. One is called The Hidden Life of Trees, and there are so many things that I have learned about trees and nature. And when I go on my walks, sometimes something about trees will pop into my head. Like, trees have friends. They will buddy up, and when they grow, they don't encroach on each other, but they try to take up as much space with leaves as possible. This has to do with photosynthesis. It's how they make their sugar, and it's how they grow. They try very hard not to encroach on each other, but they will fill out as much as possible, except where they're close to their tree friends. When two trees are friends, their leaves don't grow as thickly and bushily next to each other because they don't want to take away from their friends' resources. How cute is that? They share water through their root system. It's really cool. So if you're looking for some information to enhance your walks, I highly recommend The Hidden Life of Trees, and I will link it below. And I will also link another book that really helped me with activities to do, because you don't want to just walk and do the same thing over and over. And having different things to focus on at different seasons in the year was super cool and really helpful to me. So, what are you waiting for? Step outside, take a deep breath, and let nature work its magic. Your brain will thank you. Share in the comments where you try connecting with nature, whether it's a local park, a regional forest, or even your own backyard. Nature is here for you, and even the trees have your back. You, my friend, are not alone in your concussion.